Hey, if you're tired of drinking the same old Cabernet Sauvignon or red blend from California, I am going to introduce you to a great alternative from Italy that you've probably never heard of, but could become your favorite. Welcome back to Drinking It In. I am your host, Chris Casara. We are here to help you know more and drink better. And today I'm fired up. Maybe it's because the Islanders have a player who just turned 18 and is literally the best player on their team already, lighting up the NHL and giving us reason for optimism. Maybe it's because my baby Monty, you see the little black cat you've seen around these here parts, he's in the middle of a bit of a health scare, but he's doing well. He's on the mend. Maybe it's those two things that just fire me up, or maybe it's because I know that I'm going to be tasting a Lagrein soon. So Lagrein is the Cabernet Sauvignon alternative that I am talking about, and I am very excited to taste. So my guess is that you haven't heard of the Lagrein grape. My guess is if I ask you if you have had a Lagrein wine, the answer is no. But I know the answer to do you like Cabernet Sauvignon is yes. If that is the case for you, you're going to want to stay tuned for this review. We'll get to that in a little bit after I give you some facts and figures and describe what this Lagrein is going to taste like. So Lagrein is a grape that's native to northern Italy, that it produces red wines that have high acid, high tannins, and tend to be easy to understand, right? The wines are going to come across dark, plummy, earthy, and with a nice full body, but not heavy. Think about that. A full-bodied wine that's not heavy. Would be quite a nice balance. So does that sound good? That sounds good. If you like Cabernet Sauvignon or Syrah, right? I just did a Syrah video. You guys need to be drinking more Syrah. You should explore Lagrein. Let's give this wine a taste. Okay, now it's time to taste this Lagrein. I moved to the table because I figured it would be much more comfortable tasting a wine while sitting down. I have this gorgeous Riedel Syrah glass. There's actually a link in the show notes if you're interested. It'll take you to Amazon to purchase. So this is a Lagrein from Erste, Neue. And you'll see the Alto Adige DOC on the bottom. Again, you're used to seeing it on Pinot Grigio, but in this case, Lagrein, Northern Italy, in the Alto Adige. Makes sense. You'd see that Alto Adige DOC label. Is it DOC or DOCG? DOC. As far as I know, this is 100% Lagrein. It is the 2022 version of this wine. 2022 vintage version. My day job is getting in the way of these things. I'm thinking about software versions. So in the intro, when we're talking about this, I said that these Lagrein wines are good Cabernet Sauvignon alternatives because they have some tannins, they're full-bodied, but they are not heavy. So this wine is 13% alcohol, which is somewhat light if you think about it from a big red wine. Comes across as we expected. There are quite a bit of plums. That black fruit profile. I'm going to say blackberries, blueberries. There's definitely a berry note here in addition to the plums. Something else in there. Give me a second. It's a floral note. I'm going to call it a violet, but there's definitely a floral note, plummy, blackberry, pretty clean. Let's give it a taste. I could really see this pleasing a Cabernet Sauvignon lover. The tannins are there, but the fruit almost comes across a little more blackberry, black cherry as opposed to plums on the palate. But it is pretty light and effortless. Even though the body's big and the tannins are pretty big, it comes across your palate light and effortless. This is actually a really fun experience because if you were looking at this wine and you tried to, I guess, come up with a profile of what it was going to taste like, the taste, yes, but the feeling, right? The light and effortlessness of the wine is surprising. It's nice, it's refreshing. I said earlier, these wines have high acid, and there's definitely a high acid component here, so I could see that. But that is, this is, I guess, consistent with the profile. Let's give it one more sip. It's really nice, actually. And I don't know if you know this. I was just thinking that I've had Lagrein wines before, but I went back through my records and I see no mention of a Lagrein anywhere. So this is the first time I am tasting a Lagrein, and it does hold up to the comparison that I had put out in the beginning of the video while I was in the living room. I'm fired up because of the Islanders, although they'll probably lose today because I'm fired up about them. So in the end, if you like a Cabernet Sauvignon, if you like a Syrah, I would almost say if you like a Malbec, right? Malbec's a little lighter than those two, but Lagrein's kind of in the middle. Similar flavor profile, really, really nice acidity. And next time, you're eating a steak, maybe try a Lagrein. I'm in. Hey, thanks so much for joining. It would mean a lot to me if you hit that subscribe button right over there. And I'm also going to put a video up here, another red wine video that I think you'll enjoy. So, give it a try. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks again. Cheers.